Welcome to Path of Faith. Today we embark on an incredible journey through the complete history of the Bible. This sacred text, which has shaped the lives and beliefs of billions, is more than just a book. It is a collection of writings that have evolved over centuries. But how did it come to be? Who were the authors? And how has it influenced the course of history? In this video, we will explore the origins of the Bible, how it was compiled, and the events that shaped its formation. Get ready for a fascinating journey from ancient manuscripts to the Bible we know today. The history of the Bible begins with its earliest writings, which were composed over many centuries by different authors. The Bible is divided into two main sections, the Old Testament and the New Testament. These two collections of text reflect the religious traditions and teachings of ancient Israel and early Christianity. The Old Testament, also known as the Hebrew Scriptures, was written primarily in Hebrew, with some portions in Aramaic. It includes texts that date back to as early as the 12th century BCE. The first part of the Old Testament, the Torah, contains 5 books: Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. These books, which are foundational for both Judaism and Christianity, tell the story of creation, the history of Israel, and God's covenant with His people. Other important sections of the Old Testament include the historical books, like Joshua and Kings, which narrate the rise and fall of the Israelite kingdoms. Then there are the prophetic writings, texts like those of Isaiah, Jeremiah, and Ezekiel, that speak of divine judgment and redemption. Additionally, the wisdom literature, including Psalms, Proverbs, and Job, offers profound reflections on life, morality, and the human experience with God. The New Testament was written several centuries later, primarily in Greek, and it focuses on the life, teachings, and works of Jesus Christ and His apostles. The New Testament is composed of 4 Gospels: Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, which provide accounts of Jesus' ministry. These are followed by the Acts of the Apostles, which details the early church's growth after Jesus' ascension, and then the epistles, letters written by early Christian leaders, notably Paul, to guide and instruct the newly formed Christian communities. In the early years of Christianity, there was no set canon or official list of what books should be considered scripture. The Old Testament had already been accepted by Jewish communities, but it took centuries for the New Testament books to be officially recognized by the early church. Various texts were circulated, read, and considered authoritative by different Christian communities. Some of these texts, like the Gospels of Thomas and Peter, were eventually rejected as unorthodox and excluded from the official canon. It was only after the Council of Nicaea in 325 AD that the Church began to formalize the canon of the New Testament. This process continued into the late 4th century, when figures like Saint Jerome played a key role in translating the Bible into Latin, producing what is known as the Vulgate, which became the standard Bible of the Western Church for centuries. The Vulgate helped establish the Bible's authority in the Christian world, but it also meant that the scriptures were accessible only to those who could read Latin, which was largely limited to clergy and scholars. Over the centuries, as the Bible remained in Latin, it became increasingly difficult for common people to engage with it directly. The printing press revolutionized how the Bible was produced and distributed. In the mid-15th century, Johannes Gutenberg invented the first mechanical printing press in Europe. His invention allowed for the mass production of books, including the Bible, for the first time. In 1455, the Gutenberg Bible became the first major book printed using movable type, and it changed the course of history. Now, copies of the Bible could be made more quickly and in greater numbers, making the scriptures more accessible than ever before. However, the Bible printed by Gutenberg was still in Latin, the Vulgate, meaning that only clergy and the educated elite could read and understand it. But the Protestant Reformation, sparked in 1517 by Martin Luther's 95 Theses, would challenge this limitation. One of the driving forces of the Reformation was the idea that everyone should have access to the Bible in their own language. Luther himself translated the Bible into German, which allowed ordinary people to read the scriptures directly. Other key figures of the Reformation, such as William Tyndale, sought to translate the Bible into English. Tyndale's translation, completed in 1525, became the first English Bible to be printed. His work laid the foundation for later English translations, including the King James Version, KJV, first published in 1611. The KJV would go on to become one of the most widely read and influential English translations of the Bible in history. The Catholic Church, meanwhile, was resistant to the idea of translating the Bible into vernacular languages. At the Council of Trent, 1545 to 1563, the Church reaffirmed the Latin Vulgate as the official version of the Bible and condemned what it saw as unauthorized and inaccurate translations. This move was part of the Counter-Reformation, in which the Church sought to address the challenges posed by the Protestant movement and reform some of its practices. Despite this, the desire to translate the Bible into the common languages of different peoples only grew. By the 17th century, translations of the Bible had been made into numerous European languages, including French, Dutch, and Spanish, and the Bible had become more widely available to the general public. This shift not only allowed people to engage with Scripture more directly but also helped to spread literacy across Europe, as many people learned to read in order to access the Bible. In the 19th century, the formation of Bible societies such as the British and Foreign Bible Society 1804 further accelerated the translation and distribution of the Bible around the world. These organizations worked to ensure that people in all parts of the world could have access to the Bible in their native languages. The Bible was now not only a religious text but also a tool for promoting literacy and education. The Bible's reach continued to expand globally, with translations into hundreds of new languages as missionaries spread Christianity to Africa, Asia, and the Americas. The process of translation was not always straightforward. It required painstaking efforts to accurately convey the meaning of ancient texts while also making the Bible understandable and relevant to diverse cultures. By the 20th century, the Bible had become the most widely translated and distributed book in the world. As translations multiplied, so did interpretations and understandings of the text, leading to the development of different theological traditions within Christianity. The 19th and 20th centuries saw the Bible continue its journey across the globe, becoming a central piece in the spread of Christianity. The establishment of Bible societies, along with missionary work, played a crucial role in translating the Bible into hundreds of new languages. The goal was to make Scripture available to people in their native languages, ensuring that the message of the Bible could be understood by diverse cultures. By the late 20th century, the Bible had been translated into over 3,000 languages. In the modern era, technology has revolutionized how the Bible is accessed, studied, and shared. With the advent of the Internet, digital copies of the Bible became available on websites and mobile apps. Now, individuals from almost any corner of the world can access the Bible in seconds, in nearly any language from their smartphones or computers. Tools such as Bible Gateway and YouVersion offer interactive experiences where users can compare translations, access study guides, and even listen to audio versions of Scripture. Despite its widespread availability, debates surrounding the interpretation of the Bible continue. Different Christian denominations and scholars often have varying views on how certain passages should be understood in light of modern issues. While some denominations hold to a literal interpretation of the Bible, others advocate for a more metaphorical or contextual approach, examining the historical and cultural background of the texts. One of the most significant discoveries in modern biblical scholarship was the uncovering of the Dead Sea Scrolls in 1947. These ancient manuscripts, discovered in caves near the Dead Sea, contain some of the oldest known copies of biblical texts, including parts of the Old Testament. The scrolls provided scholars with invaluable insights into the transmission of the biblical texts over time and confirmed the accuracy of many passages that had been preserved through centuries of copying. Additionally, biblical archaeology has made significant contributions to our understanding of the historical context of the Bible. Excavations in the Middle East have uncovered artifacts, inscriptions, and ruins that corroborate events and locations mentioned in the Bible, helping to bridge the gap between Scripture and history. For example, the Tel Dan stele, discovered in northern Israel, is an ancient stone inscription that mentions the House of David, providing evidence of King David's existence. While the Bible remains a religious text at its core, it has also been studied as a historical and literary document. The Bible's influence on Western literature, art, music, and politics is undeniable. Its themes of justice, mercy, love, and redemption have shaped the moral and ethical frameworks of societies across the globe. In the modern world, the Bible continues to be a source of inspiration, guidance, and controversy. Its teachings are applied in a wide range of areas, from personal spirituality to social justice movements. The Bible has been cited in movements for civil rights, humanitarian efforts, and even political campaigns, demonstrating its ongoing relevance. As we move into the 21st century, the Bible remains as relevant as ever, continuing to inspire and influence millions around the world. The digital revolution has transformed how people access the Scriptures, with apps and websites making it easier than ever to read the Bible on the go. Through platforms like YouVersion, people can compare different translations, engage in daily devotional readings, and even participate in virtual Bible study groups. The Bible has become a truly global document, available in thousands of languages and read by individuals from all walks of life. One of the most significant impacts of the Bible in the modern era has been its role in promoting literacy and education. In many parts of the world, missionaries and Bible translators have helped communities develop written languages by translating the Bible into their native tongues. This process not only spreads the Christian faith but also preserves cultural identities and promotes education. The Bible also plays a significant role in global humanitarian efforts. Christian organizations often draw on biblical principles of charity, compassion, and justice to inspire action in response to crises such as poverty, natural disasters, and human rights abuses. Movements like the World Vision and the Salvation Army are deeply rooted in Christian teachings and have used biblical principles to guide their work in helping the needy. At the same time, the Bible continues to be a subject of discussion and debate in various social and political contexts. Interpretations of certain passages can vary widely, influencing debates on moral and ethical issues such as human rights, justice, and equality. For many, the Bible serves as a moral compass, offering guidance in times of uncertainty and conflict. Its teachings on forgiveness, love, and redemption remain central to the faith of billions. Despite the challenges posed by an increasingly secular world, the Bible's influence endures. Churches around the world continue to hold Scripture at the heart of their worship, and countless individuals turn to its pages for comfort, wisdom, and strength. Whether through traditional print or digital formats, the Bible's message of hope, faith, and love resonates just as powerfully today as it did thousands of years ago. The history of the Bible is a testament to its enduring power. From its origins as ancient scrolls to its current digital form, the Bible has shaped and been shaped by the cultures and peoples who have engaged with it. Its impact on human history is unparalleled, and its message continues to inspire people to seek truth, meaning, and connection with the divine. As we conclude this journey through the complete history of the Bible, it's clear that the Bible is much more than just a book. It is a living document that has shaped the course of history and continues to inspire billions of people today. From its ancient origins as scrolls carefully preserved by early scribes to the digital Bibles we carry in our pockets, the Bible has transcended time and space to remain relevant in the modern world. If you found this video informative or inspiring, we invite you to share it with your friends and family. Let us know in the comments which part of the Bible's history surprised or inspired you the most. Your engagement helps us spread the message of faith and knowledge to more people around the world. May God bless you, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.